listening to New Roads, New Rules, the podcast where women come together to navigate life's big transitions with honesty, humor, and a whole lot of heart. Here are your hosts, Sandi and Terri. Real women, real talk, and ready to ride.
But you're my bestie for life. Yeah, you're the family I choose. Yeah, you. The best till the end. We can get through this together.
Season 2, baby. We're back.
Woo! Hi, I know. How exciting. I can't believe it.
Awesome.
Season
awesome.
2. Well, I guess we should start out by saying thank you again to everybody for season 1. How fun was that?
It was so much fun. I'm just so looking forward to season 2 because we have the best followers ever.
I know. And some new subjects and some new topics about other subjects.
Yes.
Total, all new stuff. So,
well, what did you do over the break? Let's just start there.
Oh, what did we do? Well, it was 4th of July, right? So we saw fireworks. Everybody, you're going to hear my dogs this season. She wants to be on, so she's going to make sure she's on. So, but we saw, I relaxed a little. I tried to relax a little, hung out with friends, went to concerts. Yeah. All kinds of stuff. What about you?
Definitely. Well, I had a lot of family time, which was amazing.
Yeah.
I had one of my cousin's kids came in from out of town and we had a great time and the kids had fun. And it's so nice to see our kids, like my cousin's kids and my sister's kids all getting along and all having a great time. I love that bond,
Right. Just like you had with your cousin.
Yes, for sure. And just the stressful stuff of buying and selling a house. So
yes.
I think that's what this season's going to be about for me.
But just wait. I mean, it's stressful now, but once it's done, it's going to be so great.
Yeah, it's just a lot. It really is a lot, but I am excited for the future, right? So that's, well, and it's so funny because today's topic is about detours, right? And turning them into a positive. I know we didn't really talk about that yet, but it's, this kind of is part of that. So I'm trying to take our own advice here and say, we've got to turn these things into positives and try to kind of go with the stress, go with the journey as it was.
Yes, exactly.
Do you want me to introduce the topic before you start talking about all the exciting stuff since I started, or do you want to start?
How about we just tell them about some new exciting stuff and then when we start, let's start. So if everybody listened in, you heard a brand new part of our intro. We've got a new intro. How exciting is that?
I know. So exciting.
I love that. And then something else that is new this season, which I am very thrilled about and something that I've been working on our break. We have some big news, roadies. We've launched a brand new online space just for New Roads, New Rules listeners, and we want everybody to join. Whether you're starting over, leveling up, simply craving some real connection with some new people, our new platform is where the roadies ride together. Everyone can join for free to connect, comment, and be part of the journey. However, we do have a monthly membership and you will get exclusive perks when you become a roadie. How exciting is that?
So exciting.
I love that.
I cannot wait.
Our roadies will get live stream access. So Sandi, they're going to see us like we are right now.
It's terrible.
When we're just recording this. It's usually just me and Sandi, but we'll have some live people there.
That'll be fun because then we can interact and they can be part of the conversation.
I know. It is exciting. We'll have some behind the scenes content for them. We're going to have some digital downloads. We talk about always bettering ourselves and journaling and all of that. So we're going to have some exclusive digital downloads for for our roadies to do that. They're going to have their own private roadie lounge group where they can talk amongst themselves and meet up when they are join us. They'll be able to direct message with you and I and the other fellow roadies, which will be nice for us, Sandy, because right now we get messages from like all different kinds of platforms.
Yeah.
And it's hard to keep it all organized.
It is. And I remember saying to you even recently, I was like, wait, did so-and-so message us on Facebook or was that on Instagram? I can't find this message anywhere. Yeah. So it does help us to kind of keep everything in one place and keep good track of everybody that's interacting, because we don't want to forget anyone or leave anyone out. And especially those that are interested also in like being on or connecting with somebody that's been on. It's really important that we get your messages in a timely manner. Right.
And they'll be able to do a private Q&A when we have guests with that guest on. So that'll be exciting. And this season, we're going to roll out some product merchandise, New Roads, New Rules merchandise. And so they'll have early access to that and discounts for that. So we want to have this to be more than a podcast. We want, which we've said from day one, we want to build a community of women rewriting the rules together. So if you're ready to join us, head over to newroadsnewrules.com and sign up today, at least for the free part, and then see how it is. And you can always level up to a membership. Isn't that exciting? I'm so excited about that.
So exciting. So exciting. I love it. I'm really excited. And it also speaks to building our community, right? Because then everybody is seeing each other, interacting, and seeing all the membership stuff. It's exciting.
Everybody's coming there for one sole purpose. So you already have something in common with everybody else there.
Right.
So it's easy to, why not meet some new people? I mean,
for sure.
And this is the fastest, easiest way possible. And our podcast is, another commonality between them. So hey, how exciting is that?
Absolutely.
All right. What are we talking about today, Sandy?
We're talking about life detours. I already gave that away early, but so those unexpected turns like delays and reroutes that force us to slow down, switch lanes, or take an entirely different path, right? So for example, some examples are career shifts, relationship curveballs, health changes, and or even just mental resets. Okay. Because we all have needed those, right?
Right.
So I guess the thing is remember that perfectly laid plan.
Yeah.
The universe didn't, right? The universe didn't remember that plan. So that is just, this is normal life stuff. And how we deal with it is very key to how we get through these things. So I'm very, very excited to start talking about it. And I do think, there's been research on turning detours into positive events. So I think that would be a nice place to start. And we can talk about examples throughout. What do you think?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, they say post-traumatic growth is real. Don't you think so?
Oh, for sure.
We all go through traumatic things in our lives, and you have to grow from it. That's one thing I always tell my kids, always learn something from a situation, good and bad. Something good that, oh, hey, I think I want to emulate that, or bad, oh, that's definitely not what I should do. So always learn from it, because you're always going to go through a traumatic thing.
Absolutely. Right? And I agree with that 1,000%. Because think of all the traumatic things that have gone on in your personal life or my personal life, right? Like, if you didn't learn from it, or you didn't come out of it stronger, that's, I don't know anybody that doesn't, right?
Right. I guess, you just always have to, struggles, people struggle through unexpected job loss, health scares, failed plans. It can give you a new appreciation for life and give you a stronger relationship with other people in your life, and a clearer sense of personal strength.
I agree.
I you're always going to have your days where you're just like, this all sucks. And I just want to sit on the couch under my blanket. And it's not bad to have those days. Absolutely not bad.
Yeah.
But you have to like dig deep and, you know, start moving forward and take whatever has happened and helps you push you forward. Right.
Yeah. Agree. And that it is true, right? Like growth often happens not despite adversity, but because of it. And that's kind of where what we talk about, right?
Right. Exactly. I mean, not to get political, but all the adversity we have in the world right now, like we need to grow from it. We need to learn from each other and grow from it instead of fight with each other. I think we would all be better off.
I love that you said that because I know we've kind of made a decision on politics here, right?
Right.
Using that as an example, I think if both sides, just like in any debate, right? If both sides just took the time to listen and just hear each other out, they don't have to agree, but they do need to be respectful of each other. And I think that would go such a long way in this country, in this world, right?
Oh, I definitely think so. And I definitely think that, you know, if people sat down and just listened, you know, neither side's going to get their way completely. Like that's just not how life works in general, you know?
Right.
But if you actually listen, you know, you can come up with a way to at least meet in the middle, which is what we need to do.
Well, and you can also understand their perspective, which might be different than your own, but you understand where they're coming from.
Right. Because they've obviously gone through things that you haven't. So like, be respectful of that and listen, you know, I think that's the biggest key here is listening. Which some people have a hard time doing.
Yeah. And I have to say, like, in social media, you see a lot of back and forth on there. And the only time where I've ever kind of unfriended or unfollowed somebody is when they just come out with all this vulgar, like name calling, disgusting stuff, you know, but I have friends that have a different opinion of me. I have family members that have a different opinion of me, and I'm happy to sit down and listen as long as they're respectful of my opinion as well.
Exactly. So, as soon as the name calling starts, I just,
I can't.
I'm out. I walk away. I'm out.
Yeah, it's disgusting. And I don't want to, we talked about that in season 1 where, you are who you surround yourself with kind of, you know what I mean? And so I don't need to I don't want to be around people like that are just, they're taking a nasty, wherever it comes from, they're just taking a nasty stance. Anyway. But I digress.
I was going to say, we digress here. Let's move on.
So a little bit of research, the brain is wired for refraining. So neuroscience shows that the brain has neuroplasty, the ability to rewire itself in response to experiences. And when people choose to reframe a setback as a challenge or opportunity, they activate regions of the brain linked to resilience and problem solving, like the prefrontal cortex. Does that make sense? So like a detour in career can spark creativity, resourcefulness, or entrepreneurship. So I get that, right? So I'm going to bring work as an example because, whenever I've had a setback at work, I've actually, I should say, I don't want to say that I've always responded well because I haven't. So I have reacted in different ways, right? I had a little pity party for myself and then whined and not cried, but, whined about it to whoever would listen. And that that got me nowhere. It just put me in a negative headspace. Whereas the next one, probably the more drastic time period where I had a boss that didn't, that him and I did not see eye to eye, I feel like I learned more from him because I reframed my mind to be like, wait a minute, let me take a step back and let me figure this out for myself. And I grew from it.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah. You have to take that step back and reframe your brain. I mean, I've always said, think outside the box. If this is not working, I got to think outside the box and figure out a workaround. I've owned my own business and it is not very smooth when you're starting up and you're you're doing all of that. You think it should work like this, and it's not going to.
No, it doesn't. No, it
it doesn't. So then, you have to reframe your mind. I mean, I could have sat there and cried and said, oh, it's just not working. But
right.
well,
it's an easy thing to do, right? Life is not fair. This is not fair.
And there were moments I did that, but I would make sure that they were only moments and not days. Right. And even with this podcast, Sandi, we had no idea what to do, how to do it, whatever.
We're still kind of flying at the seat of our pants a little bit.
We will always fly at the seat of our pants. But we're learning, right? Yes. And either we could, I know listening back to last season, there were times this stupid microphone, getting the microphone right and everything. And I'm just thinking I had it. And I'm like, oh my God, I sound terrible.
Right. Me too.
Let's hope this season starts better. At least we've got the microphones facing the right way, simple things, right? But we have to reframe our brain. And we could have just been oh, forget it.
Right. This is too hard, or we're not doing a good job. But you know what kept us going? I'm going to say it out loud again. It's the people, the response that we got, right?
Yes.
Because then it's okay, it's not just us craving this community. It's other people want to be a part of it. And that made all of the difference. Because then it's okay, well, we can't let them down. And now I want to build it even more and make it more than what we even started to envision. Right.
So, Exactly.
Yeah.
But unexpected events can increase long-term satisfaction. I'm going to read one of your little things here. Yes, a little tidbit. Usually you're the ones with the tidbits. Psychological science found that people who faced unplanned disruptions to their life trajectories often reported higher life satisfaction years later, especially if they developed a narrative that made meaning of the experience. Basically, your story matters, and how you tell your story shapes how you feel about your story.
Oh, great.
If you're going to sit there and boo-hoo yourself and look for a pity party and look for people to pity you, then that's what they're going to do, and you're going to feel that way.
Yeah. And think about the times that you have done that, because we've all done it.
We've all done it.
And think about how you felt in that moment, in those moments. It was not a good feeling when you're throwing yourself. You just get so down and I can't do it.
I can't do it. And I am one to be my mom always said, if you are unhappy with something in your life, you're the only person that can change that. So I have that going through my head all of the time. So it's, I'm going to, throw my little pity party. My dogs hear it all the time, which is probably why she's talking back so much that she does. She's telling me, just shut the fuck up. I'm tired of listening to you.
If you don't shut up, I'm just going to keep barking in the background.
Right. This is what's going to happen. But you always have those moments, but then take it and, okay, listen, how am I going to change this? How am I going to make this better? So
what will benefit me for doing that?
Right. And in the long term, I am satisfied. No regrets. Yes, I will make mistakes. I will learn from my mistakes, and there's no regrets. So there's this huge satisfaction knowing I accomplished what I thought couldn't be done.
Right.
So
also taking a mistake and learning from it, I feel like that's a win. So for somebody that's a little competitive, it's you can't take or me too. You can't take every mistake as a loss, right?
No.
Otherwise, so you have to turn it into a win. Otherwise, that's not good. Especially for you competitive people out there. We know you, and we know you.
We are you. No, but making mistakes, isn't that the only way we're going to learn? I mean, if we did everything quote unquote right, how would we know? We wouldn't learn anything new.
For sure.
How boring that would be.
That would be so boring. So boring.
Yes. So control, Sandi.
Yeah. So control is the thing.
It's overrated.
I know.
I mean, we
I know,
are
and
both
you
a
know,
little control freaks in
I
certain
know.
situations.
I know. But adaptability wins, right?
Yes, yes. It's the stronger predictor of success and well-being than control. Which
Yeah.
to a point I agree because I hate being micromanaged. I hate to micromanage people. I don't like to have that control.
Right.
So and in general,
And,
life goes unplanned. It goes
right.
it's not planned, right?
Right.
It's never planned. We think we plan it, but things happen, right? And
Right.
so you have to adjust with openness, humor. I think it's better in the long run to do that.
Yeah. I agree. And just going on the control wagon for a second, we talk in season 1, we talk a lot about the let them theory. And
Yeah.
that is basically what I learned most from that book, is because when you're disappointed in somebody else's actions or how they feel about a certain thing, it's because you're trying to control
What they're thinking.
what they're
and doing.
thinking, and you
Mhm.
can't. So letting go of control was very key to my
Yes.
peace. And I didn't realize it. I just thought, oh, I want my daughter to be happy, but her happiness is different than what I think is happy.
Right.
You know what I mean? So,
Right.
like, I just think control is something that like sets us back in terms of peace and like happiness.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I still work on it every day. I'm not going to lie.
I mean,
You said it yourself. I still have control issues, but it is because I have 54 years or 55 years. I forgot how old I was. I have 55 years of like, programming. Yeah, right. Programming that I have to like kind of walk back a little bit. But
right. No, I agree. I have to say, yes, I am controlling in certain aspects. However, unfortunately, like, let's see, my daughter will be 21 minus 2 is 19. So 19 years ago, I lost my mom, right? That was the point in my life where I learned I needed to give up control because I was so like, no, this has to be this way. This has to be this way. If it's not this way, we're obviously failing. So we have to make sure it's this way and whatever. But then, my mom had cancer. Cancer is a beast of its own.
Right.
And we ended up losing her, unfortunately. But it was in that, it took something like that for me. I'm still controlling in certain things in my life.
Right.
But
right.
I am so much more laid back and I don't lose my temper unless I have to, and it doesn't happen very often, but it took something huge for me to do that. So I'm hoping that by us talking about this and doing this, that it doesn't take something as big for somebody else to learn to like let go and, why get upset over the little things? Don't make mountains out of molehills.
I know yours was huge, right? But without thinking about like the death of your loved one, your mother, there are other things. Like you could think back to relationships in which you were trying to control your friend or your best friend or your significant other, and you were trying to control the narrative instead of letting them be who they were being.
Right.
And you can see how that turned out. Right. So like everybody, it does. I mean, yours was an extreme lesson, but like you can take all the little ones too and add them up to see the pattern that brings,
Right. I think, in your early 20s and even like maybe edging into like early 30s, I think that's why friendships break down a lot because at that age, you're still trying to control what you think your friends should be, what they should say, how they should act. Because they say that, your brain, isn't matured until at least 25?
25 for women. I don't know what it is for men.
I mean, I
Well, I don't know if
doesn't
is
happen.
it 25 for everyone. I don't know.
25 for everyone.
I heard that that's a research point that we're going to have to look up.
Yeah.
Because I did hear that women like mature faster.
Well,
than
I
men.
think so. I mean, even in grade school, I think, the girls were always a little more mature than the boys,
Yeah.
That's my opinion. Don't come at me for it.
I
But
know. I don't want to alienate any of our men followers. So.
no, we do not. We do not.
But another point is that community and support matter most during detours, right? Which we talked about in episode 1. So according to Harvard's 85-year study of adult development, the quality of our relationships is is the biggest predicator of happiness and well-being. So, and then you take all the research we did in episode 1 and add that to it. It just helps, right? Like, you need that support. You don't always know where to go or what to do in a detour either. There's a fork in the road, especially. You don't know. Sometimes you need the advice of somebody that's been there, or at least has some knowledge about what you're going through.
Right. Or, I mean, even if it's just a friend to give you a different outlook on it, even you and I look at things differently.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that's why, I'll call you up and say, this is going on. And there's been many times where you're just like, well, you got to think of this and you got to think of that. And I'm like, I didn't think about that,
Yeah, and I love that you're pretending that didn't just happen 5 minutes before we started recording, because I was in a tailspin. Let's be honest. I mean, this is supposed to be an honest podcast. I was in a complete tailspin.
You were.
And you calmed me down immediately.
You were. But we got through that.
Yeah, but that's why it matters.
That's why it matters. And that's why community matters. And that's why we want to build a community, because some people, unfortunately, don't have a Sandi to a Terri, or a Terri to a Sandi. Right. And so, this way, we're building that, hopefully.
We're all in this together. But detours often push us. Yes. Detours often push us to lean on each other. They definitely push us to lean on each other, ask for help, and build new networks, right? So, detours are part of this, and they're not going away.
No, they will all
going to be here forever.
We will always have detours, but they could lead to something new, something exciting. There's always, different things. So, like some personal stories. Why not? Let's just go deep, Sandi.
You go into it.
Okay. All right. Well, let's, detours. So I, at one point, opened up my own salon. I was very excited, and all of that. It was so hard and it was difficult. There were lots of obstacles. But I ended up having to close that salon because of personal things going on in my life, right? Divorce being one of them. And I, at one point, that was probably the lowest point in my life, because I felt like such a big failure. And talk about a detour. Like, I thought I had hit it. Like, I opened a salon. Oh my God, look at this. And it didn't work out. Detour, but looking back, that was pre-COVID. I don't know that it would have lasted during COVID. Right. I then shifted and went mobile with my services, and it blew up like you wouldn't believe. And it was, it's been huge, right? So that's a huge, okay, this is not what I planned on, but I'm rolling with it. And it's, and it has been, huge. Short of, I'm just short of words here, but like it changed, and something good came of it. And I was surprised about that. And, and that has led me to different things. And I don't regret any of it, even those darkest days of closing that salon down. It just changed everything.
Yeah, I agree. And so I'm going to use kind of COVID as my thing too, because when when I was not a work from home person.
Right.
I actually didn't care for it. When we came home, I was like, this sucks. Get me back at the office. I miss my people.
Mm-hmm.
I miss traveling. I miss being out of the house. I did not love working from home. And then 2 years in, so we closed the office we were in during COVID, and then we leased a new office in the city. And I would go 3 days a week, which was good because it gave me a little balance.
Right.
And then then they closed that office because nobody was going in. I mean, it's a whole thing.
Right.
But the moral of the story is right now, what I needed most going through the divorce, selling the house, getting the house ready to sell, everything, what I needed was not to be commuting.
Right.
What I needed was to be close to home, where if I needed to take a little break to do the dishes, I could do the dishes, to call, my realtor. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Get the house ready
now,
for a showing.
it almost goes back to what we said in the very last episode of season 1. I think it was the last episode. It was one of the episodes where like everything happens for a reason. No, it was like the second time.
Right.
Serendipity and all of that. I think I hated working from home. I was like, I don't want anything to do with this. And right now, with everything I have going on, I could not imagine commuting to
Right.
an
Taking
office.
that time out. Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean, it just takes so much time out of your day.
It does.
And I remember when I was working, I mean, I didn't work close to home. So I'd leave the house at 7 a.m. and sometimes I wouldn't get home till 7 p.m.
Right.
So, and it was because I generally work more than 8 hours a day anyway, but also the commute time, And
right.
so it's just
in
so
Chicago, it's like tripled now.
yeah. And so the detour for me was working from home. And I'm so grateful that I am right now.
Yes.
So,
yeah. No, see? So what would you tell your past self in that moment?
In the moment of COVID where I was like, oh, I hate working from home.
Right. What would you tell yourself?
I would tell myself to appreciate the benefits of working from home, the money that I was saving, the time I was saving, instead of complaining about it.
Right. Right. Yeah. No,
what would you have told yourself?
I would have told myself, well, especially when I say it was a dark moment, I mean, it was dark moments there. And I would have told myself, snap out of it sooner than I did, I guess, like you're going to make it through this. Yes, it's hard, but you're going to do it. Like, you look at everything that you're going through and how you're getting through it. Like you're going to do it and it's going to be okay. And it's that, and believe that it'll be okay. Cause everybody told me, oh, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You could say that. Yeah, sure. Okay. Whatever.
I love that, Terry, because you know what? That works for every scenario, every detour, right? Like you have to remember that you're going to be okay.
Right.
And that there's what do they say? Not the grass is always, no. What is it? There's when one door opens, closes, another one opens.
Yes, or a window opens. Yeah.
Yeah, something, whatever. Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like, I think we just have to remind ourselves in those times, which is not easy, especially when you're having your emotions about it.
Right. Exactly. No, it's not. But there's always something new out there and you just have to find it, and sometimes it is like literally you have to take a step back and just listen and look, like you need that silence to hear what you're supposed to be doing and see what you're supposed to be doing. So there's always going to be a detour. You just, it's not always bad, not always a bad thing. So, like you got to trust the scenic route, even if it looks like a dirt road at first. I drive a Jeep, like you got to drive that dirt road sometimes. And I have learned, I just said this the other day. So, a lot of traveling around over the 4th of July weekend and whatever. And we took the Jeep, but I was not the one driving. And my boyfriend was. And I said, how nice it was to sit in the passenger seat, not worried about anything, and to enjoy that. I love driving my Jeep, but it was a different love
Perspective,
and perspective of it, because I was relaxed sitting in the passenger side, driving down, I mean, traffic and all, but it was totally different on that side. So that's kind of like life, right? Sometimes you have to take that side. You got to bring a friend along so that way you can take the side and just enjoy the ride a little.
Yes, agree. That's a great analogy for sure.
Well, I love my Jeep.
I love your
everybody
Jeep.
probably knows because you see it all over our logo and everything.
And by the way, I love it too, which is why it is our logo.
That's right. That's
but
right.
You're sitting in my seat, so
I was sitting in your seat, and normally I do. I mean, I have a hard time doing. Again, going back to control, I have a hard time doing that with my Jeep. I've had other people drive my Jeep and I'm just grasping onto everything and I'm like hitting my pretend brake and I'm like, okay, I can't do this. I'll drive. Just let me drive. I'll drive. But I wasn't like, I totally enjoyed the ride and it was a whole new perspective.
Yeah, for sure.
I could start singing A Whole New World right now. we won't subject our listeners to that.
I was going to say we need music in the background. I was not about to sing.
It's your turn. Let's hear what you have to say.
All right. So this week on Your Turn, I've got some stuff, Sandy, that I pulled from all of the different ways people contact us about subjects to cover for the new season. Yeah. So I thought this was a good Your Turn this week because let's take from what people have shared with us. So a subject, and I'm going to put out on Facebook and Instagram polls, and I want people to go on there and give us vote for ones that you want to hear, and we'll do them in order of most to least or whatever.
Okay,
or if or if none of these, these all sound great, but if none of them, pique your interest, I'll, then give us one. There'll be a space that you can, jump in and give us an idea. But one of them came in and said, "Hi, Terri and Sandi. I'm writing because I walked away from the job I thought I always wanted. On paper, it was everything, but inside, I was unraveling. I would love to hear you guys talk about the pressure to stick it out and how choosing peace over prestige was the hardest and best decision somebody has made." That's a good one to cover.
That's a really good one. Yes.
Right. Yes. Another option was dating again in my 40s. What the fuck is this? First of all, I love that part. And it could be any age, again, in 50s, because that's where we're at. What the fuck is this is right. She's asking, ladies, can we talk about dating apps after 40, which we kind of touched on in the first season, but I feel like we always have further. We need to deep dive into this.
God,
I know.
Okay, who's gonna be our guest on that one? Though we need a guest.
I do know somebody who talks about relationships. I'll reach out to her and see if she might want to come on.
Right.
Whether or not she knows about dating apps.
Man, also,
we definitely need to get a man's perspective on this. Definitely. Yeah. So she goes on to say, I feel like I time traveled into a world of ghosting, emojis, and zero emotional maturity. I want to laugh, cry, and vent with you about what it's like to date again and when you know who you are, but no one else seems to know. So I think we always have to deep dive into this conversation because there's so many changes in relationships and how it goes on and whatever. So I definitely think that's a good one. And I love the what the fuck is this? Right there, you have me right at that.
I like it.
This next one is kind of a good one and kind of hits home for me. A couple of these hit home for me. When your kids don't need you like they used to.
Oh, yeah.
I've spent the last 20 years being everything to my kids. Now they're grown and I'm sitting here wondering, who am I without them needing me every day? I'd love to come on, or I'd love to hear you talk about that quiet grief no one prepares you for when motherhood shifts. I think
Yes,
that's a huge one.
that is a good one.
That is a good one. Here we go. This is one that we really didn't talk about on the first season: money, shame, and getting real about finances.
Ugh, we need to.
We need
talk
to.
about it.
No one talks about money in the real life, but I think that we should. I've made mistakes, carried debt, and felt so ashamed. I'm also learning, rebuilding, and finally feeling in control. I'd love to hear you talk about different stories and open up a conversation about financial freedom and healing. We definitely need to look for people for that, Sandy.
Yes, absolutely. I could use that myself.
Absolutely. All right. Two more. Letting go of the good girl conditioning. All my life, I've been the people pleaser, the fixer, the good girl. I followed all the rules, lost myself in the process. Lately, I've been questioning everything. Can you talk about how or what happens when we stop shrinking to make others comfortable?
Yes.
I
Yes.
think you and I both have done this.
Yes. I need that myself. That's going to be a good one. That would be a really good one.
That would be, because I'm always trying to please people. And yes.
I'm still trying to please people.
I know, right? All right. The last one suggestion we got is, I'm the strong friend, but I'm struggling too. I've always been the one everyone leans on. I'm the advice giver, the rock, but lately I've been struggling and I don't know how to ask for help without feeling weak. What can we talk about what it's like when the strong friend needs support too? I think this is a great one because I am always the strong one. And
yes.
Some days I don't want to be strong and I don't want to feel, and I have been made to feel weak when I've asked for help. Yeah. So that's a good one too. So I'm going to put all of these out on our social media in poll form. And I would love for people to go on and vote, and let's, then we can arrange them in numerical order.
Yeah, let's do it.
Want to hear.
Yes. So let's get that poll out so we can start planning the rest of season 2. Awesome.
And now it's time for the rule of the week.
Okay, so this week's rule is the best roads aren't always the ones you planned, right? So it is so true. So we need to embrace flexibility and keep faith in the journey. Just enjoy the journey, you guys, because, there's always another road.
There is.
Sometimes that road is better.
Sometimes it is better, and absolutely. So I'm going to give everybody a challenge this week. I am going to challenge everybody to join the platform because that way we can interact with you. We can hear you loud and clear from the platform. All of that. You can talk to other people and you can interact and there'll be, roads on that platform for divorce, for new jobs, for friendships, for relationships that you can join and talk to other people possibly going through something similar that you are going through. So again, newroadsnewrules.com.
So is that not www? No, just kidding. You knew I was going to do it.
Yes, of course you were going to do it, old lady.
Okay. So yeah, I would also want to mention though that they can also listen to the podcast off the platform.
They can. Right. I do have it on there where you can click listen to the podcast straight from the platform. So I know people, listen to Spotify or Apple or audio, whatever. You can go right to newroadsnewrules.com and listen to it right from the platform. So
that's awesome.
That is really I'm so excited.
I know. It's going to be a good season.
It is going to be a great season. And I mean, again, we're building the season. And once we feel like we get to a certain level, we do want to have events, whether it's online or live. And we'll be able to do it right on the platform and announce on the platform how to join in and everything. So, newroadsnewrules.com.
Love it.
All right. Well, remember, every road leads somewhere new.
And the best part, we get to make the rules. See you next time on
New Roads, New Rules.
But you're my bestie for life.